How you doing? Bob Murphy. This is the third of three intro videos. The third, right? The compound interest formula. The compound interest formula, derive it. Not in a very mathematically precise manner, but good enough. Then the world's fastest exponent review. Not the way I would teach it for a couple weeks to a bunch of ninth graders, just for regular old normal people. Hey, what's this notation look like? What's it mean? Remember, if you watched it, I had a typo in there. Yay. And now, how to use a calculator to solve the problems we're doing. At the end of the last video, I mentioned when I was in high school in the 70s, well, aside from calculators like this didn't even exist, okay? These just happen to be both Texas Instruments. There's plenty others out there. When I was in high school in the 70s and the minimum wage is about $2 an hour, calculators like this were, well, they didn't even have graphing calculators. So the arithmetic calculator was like $100, and then the one with the scientific stuff was another $100. And at $200 divided by $2 an hour, no high school kid was putting in 100 hours of work to have two clunky calculators. So it's cool. We can actually do problems now. You just like couldn't even touch back then. But you got to be able to push the buttons the right way. And this drives me nuts when I'm around math teachers. Well, people mess this up all the time. So just don't assume that people are going to do it right. Now, real quick, while we're kind of looking at this thing, let me zoom in and out. What the hell? The focus sucks, doesn't it? There's so many. I've got such respect for the video production people, man. Oh, right there. You guys, that's your exponent key, that goofy little caret thing. On your standard keyboard, I think it's the number 6. Yeah. On your standard keyboard. And I don't know why they call it a caret. Whatever. It's the same button on the fancier Texas Instrument calculator. Now, let's get to the notes. I don't want this video to be too long. All right, shared screen. Bing. Back to the mysteries of shared screen. Come on, what are you guys doing? Oh, now I got to click on the other button. I swear they change this stuff like every 14 minutes. All right. Using a calculator for problems with exponents. Now, in the exponent review, I used an example of 2 to the 8th power. Okay. And 2 to the 8th. So here's my little graphics. See the square? That's the button. How to push the buttons the right way. 2, and then the caret, and then the 8, and you push the 8. And I'm not going to bother trying to do it on here because this glare and this lighting has been driving me nuts trying to get it right. Whatever. So 2 to the 8th, the caret 8, and then the equal on this calculator, it's the enter button. On the other calculator, no. I'm sorry. On this one, it's the enter. On the green one, it's the equal enter. I mean, it's the same company. I think anyway. Now, before we do any more problems, and if you did this correctly, you got 256. And again, I'm not trying to talk. I am not talking down to you. It is just so easy. Hi, I taught over 10,000 classes. Thousands of students. It's just really easy to screw this up. And so make sure you're doing it right. 2 to the 8th equals 256. Now, before you freak out, because your calculator is different, just hold on, hold on. Woo, take a breath. Okay, there are 3 common exponent button keys. There's on the Texas Instrument calculators and on my Android smartphone calculator, right? Boom, regular old phone calculator on there. In the scientific thing, both use this goofy caret thing, this caret symbol, all right? On my Windows scientific calculator, and I'm using Zoom on Windows, and on an Apple smartphone calculator, they'll use X to the Y power. That's the that's the exponent key, right? And then others, I've seen X to the N and I've seen Y to the X. So they're less common. All right. So that's why I put common in originally in quotation marks. Right. Now, another thing about these calculator problems, other than something like 2 to the 8th equals 256. And there's something I showed in the last video. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32, right? Times 2 is 64, times 2 is 128, and times 2 is 256. So for some problems, yeah, we don't need a calculator, but the key is, like, make sure you're pushing the buttons the right way by doing a problem that's really easy. 2 to the 8th power equals 256. Did you push the buttons the right way? Now, because here's where everything goes to sideways, and that is we really need to use parentheses. Even that goofy little problem, you should use parentheses. And notice how I used one of the original problems, 1.1 to the 3rd power. This is our first real calculator problem, okay? And I even wrapped the 3 in a parentheses. Now, hopefully you'll go through the social justice math formulas, and they're messy. You have to use parentheses to get the right answer, okay? That's just it. Well, maybe you don't, whatever. Look, normal people, just please do what I ask. I'm not going to help you do shortcuts. I'm not going to help. And if you don't like that, I don't know, go watch this smart people video where nobody tells anybody anything because everybody knows it because they're so smart. All right. Now, parentheses, 1 decimal point, 1 parentheses, exponent key. Now, another parentheses for the 3. There's the 3 button. There's the close parentheses. So about parentheses, there's open parentheses, close parentheses, okay? If you do this stuff on a spreadsheet, that'd be really cool. But, let one step at a time. And then you hit the enter key. Now, if you did this correctly, right, you should get 1.331. How come it's not 133.1? Oh, because we didn't multiply it by 100. Ooh. Now, I left this as a challenge problem on the last video, right? Exponents. Let's say I got 4% interest for 30 years. Now, when I was in high school, we were not going to multiply 1.04 times 1.04. And then, okay, so that's 4 times 4 is a 16. Skip the 0, the 4, but move the decimals around. Okay, so there's the first 2 of them. Now I got to do another one, then another one. Hello, what a nightmare. So our handy dandy calculator, you type this in correctly, parentheses, 1.04, close parentheses. So there's open parentheses, close parentheses. Exponent, parentheses, 3, 0, close parentheses, hit enter. Okay. And I wrote everything that showed up in the display. I wrote all the numbers, but here's one thing that we used to do in my class. We would do, I should have wrote this word down, truncate. We would truncate to 4, we'd go 4 decimals and truncate, and that's just chop it off. Boom. Then you don't have to worry about the rounding, you know, if it's a 5 and it's a Tuesday, you go to the moon, and if it's a 4 on Thursday, you drink orange juice, right? No. We don't have to worry about all that. We just go out 4 and chop it off. We're not working for Amazon or Microsoft. Nobody gives a crap. I mean, look what I did. I took 3.2433, and we're going to use that number in later examples, because I always had my kids, I try to get them to write stuff on the side as you're using the calculator, because then they can work with each other, right? If they mess up pushing the buttons, and I learned this the hard way. I had everybody's working in their groups, and I got 5 different groups of students yelling at me with 5 different answers, going, my calculator says. And it's like, wow, okay. Whatever. Now, look at this challenge question down here. And what the heck did I do? So I added another set of parentheses. So the 1.04 to the 30th power, if that isn't bad enough, I mean, look at all the garbage you got to type. Then I wrapped in another set of parentheses, and then I'm subtracting 1. This is actually from one of the formulas. It's the second formula we're going to use. So, anyway, that's it. Look, if you can get through this, you can do the formulas that I'm going to show you. All right. And I don't want these videos to go too long. I know, like, you know, listening to me talk is the highlight of your day. And what the hell am I doing now? Oh, stop share. And then what else? Oh, there we go. Pause, stop recording. Okay, so bink, that's it for intro. 3 intro videos, right? Derive the compound interest formula. P times 1 plus R to the T equals FV. P quantity, 1 plus R, quantity to the T equals FV. Quick review of some of the rules of exponents, and now a quick how to use a calculator so we can do these problems. All right, ciao. Where's the, oh, there we are.